How the fuck are ya? I hope you're well. I wanted to talk to you about something that's been dancing around in the old brain cage recently. I should have recorded more footage, but I didn't think I'd be making this video. I was suddenly inspired after watching a bunch of Spilo and casual content lately, and it's got me to thinking. Overwatch Season 8 started with Battle of the Beasts, or whatever it was called. If you ain't play it, it was a 4-for-4 team fight where each team has a giant Orisa, the Beast, and the objective is to murder the shit out of the other beast while defending yours or attacking the enemy team. A kaiju fight, if you will. Pacific Rim, almost. Occasionally, the beasts enter a sort of standby mode, rendering them both inert until you liberate a metal meat heart from whatever primeval grasp the pylon has over that giant meatball. Whoever does so first gets a hefty health bonus in the form of overhealth for your beast. What conditions triggers this whole meat heart thing is a fucking mystery to me. It happens randomly. The only thing I can tell you is that the first time the pylon activates is when one of the kaijus loses its first health bar. Or did I forget to mention? The Orisa have 3 health bars and they can use all the abilities and ults that little Orisa can. I was a super casual on and off player and never completed an event before, ever. When I say never, I mean this is a bad habit I formed back in Overwatch 1. But I changed my ways in Season 7. I proved myself in the Thunderdome and came out a bias record, so you know that shit's real. So with that being said, I don't know if Overwatch has ever implemented a 4-for-4 mode before in the past, so this was a new experience for me. I remember watching the Group Up podcast, the Great Tank Debate episode, in which Flat said something interesting.
I don't think 5v5 or 66 really matters. I would, honestly, maybe I'm in left field. Okay, let's go 4v4. 1 tank, 2 DPS, 1 support.
Wow.
Support keep all of their tools, and then damage comes down, healing comes down, everyone still has impact.
Wow, I did not think you'd come in and drop that. Okay, so
Though at first,
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
then I thought about it for a while, and I started seeing the vision a little bit. I didn't think much past that because I thought it was too radical of an option. I was having a hard time seeing it work, until Battle of the Beast, that is. Consider me a convert. I've officially joined the church of 4-for-4. I've bought my ticket on the train. I downed the Kool-Aid, and I'll tell you why. I want to stress this is just my opinion. I'm not going to champion 4-for-4. By champion, I mean I'm not going to be annoying about it. But I'm super open to it now that I've had a taste. This event is a promo for Mauga and the Great Beast Mythic Orisa skin, which is why the only tank you could choose was, well, Mauga. Duh. That's not the interesting part though. What was interesting was how comfortable the format felt. I played a lot of this game mode because I wanted to 100% clear the event. My favorite games were when other teams were full of tryhards. Here are some things I noted. You can only have, at max, 2 DPS or 2 supports. Assuming you slot a tank, you're left with 3 open spots, and I observed in nearly 60% of the games I played, we ran 1 tank, 1 DPS, 2 support comps. And this was the most optimal. The other 40% ran 1 tank, 2 DPS, 1 support. The latter is more stressful as a support, as it forced me to play more passively and wisely, because I was the only source of healing, besides Mauga, of course. If my team played flankers, my position became even more vital and vulnerable. My death meant we almost always lost the team fight unless someone was peeling for me or my team needed to play smarter to win, which happened more often than you think. Suddenly, people weren't rushing in as often or fucking off without notice. Just like the shift from 6-for-6 to 5v5, the additional player being lost made a huge impact. The former, 1 tank, 1 DPS, and 2 supports felt the best though, especially if you ran 1 main healer and an off healer, say Ana Lucio or Kiri Bap. Don't know if I used those terms correctly, let me know if I did in the comments. To continue, that allows the DPS to get a little bit of help, applying pressure, the tank has someone to back them up, and it ended up working really well. I never felt like I was overwhelmed or that the skill gap was large. In fact, because of the redistribution of power, I didn't ever feel like I had or needed to swap. Because of the small comp size, the fundamentals instantly became more important. Holding corners, taking high grounds, flanking, taking shorter engagements, you know, all that stuff people don't normally be doing. Yeah, that made a noticeable difference in play. After that, it was just a game of who was better. It felt that simple. Like, no one was immortal or impossible to kill. You were rewarded for playing smart, simple as that. I also noticed players were more inclined to stay in pairs, which created its own ecosystem of exchanges on the sidebar. There were many a times I was traveling with our DPS or the other support, and we suddenly found ourselves in a 2v2 in a side corner somewhere, and it was fun as fuck, boy, let me tell you what. Sorry, I got a little excited there. Another satisfying result was when a cheeky Mauga or DPS thinks you're alone and tries to get a free kill just to have the tables turn on them when Lucio comes down from the heavens to peel for you. Satisfying. Losing didn't feel bad either. And there were a few times where we got rolled, but it didn't feel terrible because it felt like we lost because they either outplayed us or they put us on timers, which is again our fault. On the flip side, it was easier to isolate people or flank. I found it way easier to separate supports and take duels since there was one less person to think about. The enemy then needs to adapt, which made creating openings feel rewarding. After I completed the event, I played just a little more just for the fun of it, hoping to run into tryhards, which happened the more I played. It also felt like there were more team fights since the reduced player count makes the time to kill faster, or at least it felt that way to me. However, take all of this with a grain of salt, because I'm sure all my lavish praise won't translate one for one if we had the whole roster available to us in 4for4. Blizzard should really bring back the experimental mode, or PTR as a whole, so I could put my money where my mouth is. What I'm really saying is that, after viewing it from a different perspective, I think 4for4 has promise if we're willing to try it. I just wanted to know if anyone else felt the same, and I'd love to hear how you felt about this impromptu TED Talk. Am I a loon, or was I cooking a little bit? That's all I have for today. I'm Realm Sugar, your new primetime slime, and I appreciate you, your ears, and your eyeballs. Until next time, stay hydrated, touch some grass, and I'll see you on the next one. Thankies, bye!
Hey, yo, Black boy joy, she wanna see the Forbes like I wanna see her